Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to be doing my 2023 mid-year reading challenge check-in. That is a mouthful. So I know the mid-year book freakout tag is extremely popular on BookTube. There are people who complete that video year after year on BookTube. However, I did not have answers for several of the questions, so I decided instead of doing the whole tag, I'm just going to provide a bit of a mid-year update on how I'm doing on my reading goals so far, how many books I've read so far this year, and what things I still want to read in the latter half of the year. So this is just going to be a little mid-year reading challenge check-in talking about my progress so far, and let's dive right into it. I have to tell you, I am doing very well on my Goodreads reading challenge so far. I wanted to read 72 books. Now, last year, I made my goal 75, and I wasn't able to achieve that. So I decided this year, okay, I'll just pick 72. I think that's a little safer. I think I can achieve that. Currently, as of the date I'm filming this video, I have read 39 books, and I am 4 books ahead of schedule. So that means if I continue at this pace, I'm going to read 76 books. So I guess I'm going to achieve last year's goal after all, a year late, but I guess I also shouldn't say I'm definitely going to achieve it, because we never know what's going to happen, you know? Some months I'm in a mood where I want to read a lot, and other months I'm a little more in a reading slump. But I guess I'll say, if I continue at this pace, I will read 76 books. We'll see. Honestly, it's not really the number that matters as much, but it would be pretty fun, and I would be impressed with myself if I surpassed my goal, especially by 4 books. That's a pretty big difference. I crunched the numbers, and so far this year I have read 12,356 pages, and my average rating so far this year is 3.6 stars, which is pretty typical for me. I believe if you look on my Goodreads profile, it says that my average rating is a 3.58. So 3.6 is just slightly above my normal average. I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately. Should I give out more 5 stars? I don't know. I feel like I give out so many 3s and 4s. And I've just been kind of thinking about what is a 5-star in my opinion. If I thoroughly enjoy a book, should I give it 5 stars, even if it's not a new favorite, even if it didn't change my life, even if I had some minor issues with it? These are the things that I am wondering to myself, because I feel like I give 5 stars so rarely. And there have been books where in hindsight, I feel like they should have been 5-star books, but maybe that's just part of it. You don't know how much a book is going to stick with you right after you finish it. Sometimes it's months down the line that you realize, hey, this is a book that I look back on really fondly. I think it should have been a 5-star. Anyways, this is off topic with the video. Just saying things that have been on my mind recently. Next, I want to revisit my 23 books I want to read in 2023 video. I will link that video in the card. So out of those 23 books I named on that list, I have read 14 of them so far. Honestly, that's higher than I was expecting, so I am happy with that. There are, of course, 9 books that I still need to read from that list, and those are The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon, The Two Towers by Tolkien, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, Shakespeare's Sonnets, obviously by Shakespeare, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Barrett? I forget his name. This is a book that my dad bought me, so I need to read that. Daughters of the Winter Queen by Nancy Goldstone, and Mythology by Edith Hamilton, which is right behind me there. Those are the 9 books on my list I have not read yet, and I will not be disappointed if I don't read all 9 of them, but I would like to read a majority of them if possible. You know, if I could, like, read, let's say, 18, 19, 20 of the books on my 23 books I want to read in 2023 list, that to me would feel like a success. So even if it's not all 23, if it's most of them, I would feel good. I also went back and rewatched my 2023 reading goals video. And so I'm going to go over all the goals I listed in that video and talk about if I feel like I have been successful at completing them or not, and which ones I think I need to work on in the second half of the year. My first goal was to read the books on my 23 books I want to read in 2023 list, which I already addressed. I think I've made great progress, still have some more I have to read, but looking good. I also said I wanted to read NetGalley arcs, and I think I have been pretty good about that so far as well. I do have 3 arcs in my queue that I'm going to read in the coming months, and I will discuss those later in this video. Another goal I had was to read books on my physical TBR. So I went on Goodreads, I looked at the 39 books I've read so far this year, and I determined how many of them were from my physical TBR. And what I got was 15 out of the 39 books. Now, yes, that's less than half, but 15 books off my physical TBR, you know, that's a decent showing in my opinion. So this is something I'm going to continue thinking about and continue prioritizing for the rest of the year, but I'm happy with how it's going so far. Another one of my goals was to complete the Read Christie 2023 reading challenge. I will link my video about that in the card. And so far, so good with that one too. Now, let's get into the goal that I have not been really following through on, and that's to read intimidating books. I feel like this is something I should prioritize in the second half of the year because I still have a lot of big books on my TBR and intimidating books on my TBR that I've thought about reading, but I'm still too scared to pick up. I will definitely have to read The Count of Monte Cristo because that is probably the book that intimidates me the most, but it's also on my 23 books list because I really think this could be a new favorite book for me. I've heard so many good things about it, and I love a good revenge storyline in a book. However, I have not started it yet because it is over 1,000 pages and I'm scared of it. I think while I love my Scrabble TBR game, one of the issues with it is because I designed it to give myself so much freedom and to make the prompts so flexible, there's not that pressure on me to pick up large books. Because, you know, like, obviously I could spell the word big and tell myself, okay, Jackie, you're going to read a big book this month. But when it comes to actually spelling out the prompts, I don't want to do that. And I always default to something else, something less scary. So there's no holding myself accountable with this TBR game, if that makes sense. You know, other people, they have their TBR games and maybe they have a prompt, most intimidating or big book. And so if it comes up, they're like, well, guess I have to fulfill this month. And I don't have that. I basically have the freedom to pick whatever prompts I want. So therefore, I'm not picking prompts that scare me, and that's a problem. I need to, I don't know, be peer pressured. I need you guys to go in the comments and peer pressure me, encourage me to read some long books. I will link the video I made on the biggest books on my TBR, was it? Or was it the most intimidating books on my TBR? I forget now what the exact video was, but I did mention in that video some books that I need you all to bully me into reading, and that's exactly what I said in the video. I said I need you all to go into the comments and bully me. So once again, I am telling you to bully me. Nicely bully me, you know? Just give me some peer pressure to read these big books in the latter half of the year. The good thing about The Count of Monte Cristo, though, is my mom said she would read it along with me if I wanted to do a buddy read sort of thing. So assuming she's still willing to do that, the two of us can read it together. Maybe I'll start in August and take like 2 months to read the entire thing. That's my plan as of now, but if I'm being completely honest, when August comes around, I might find a reason to delay once again. So we'll see what happens. Then my last 2 goals, I also think I need to prioritize more in the latter half of the year. Those were to read series continuations and to read some more historical mystery series. I've done that a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. So this is something that I need to do in the rest of the year. I am currently writing a historical mystery. I am probably going to start sending it to literary agents very soon, and because of that, I think I need to read a lot more of this genre just to know what else is out there and, you know, the books that my book would be next to on the bookshelves if it is published. And I also want to tackle some of the series I've already started just to make progress on those. There are some series that I am close to finishing, so I would like to be able to have that sense of completion there. Several of the books on my books I want to read list are series continuations: The Fiery Cross, The Two Towers, The Hound of the Baskervilles, and then The Final Empire is a new series that I've been putting off and putting off. So maybe I will make some progress with those in the latter half of the year. I will also try to start some new historical mystery series and continue the ones that I've already started. We'll see. Finally, let's talk about other books that I want to read before the end of the year. So I recently made a video talking about themed reading vlog ideas that I had, and I asked you all to go vote for your favorite idea, and I promised you that in the next few months I would film that vlog. I must admit, the results of the poll surprised me because the winner was Library Picks My Books, which is not what I thought was going to win. And I honestly, to be completely honest, I thought it was the least compelling idea out of all the ideas I shared in that video. I'm still happy to make it, but I was just surprised that was the winner. And I also said in that video, I really wasn't sure how the video was going to work if I ended up making it. You know, I didn't want to physically ask librarians for recommendations because that was kind of awkward. I thought about just going to the library and getting random books I'd never heard of, but that kind of feels like a totally separate idea. Like, you can't really say that's Library Picks My Books. That would be like reading books I've never heard of. It kind of seems like a separate concept to me, but I have thought of a way that I can make this video. So sometime in the next 2-3 months, I'm going to go on my Libby app because Libby has reading lists recommended by our librarians. So I'm going to pick books from their recommended reading lists and read those for the vlog. I think that is a good solution. It feels true to my original concept and is more convenient for filming purposes, not invading anybody's privacy. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, I don't know what books I will be reading for that video because I will have to just go look at the lists and see what they are recommending, but that is going to be coming up soon. I also have 3 NetGalley arcs that I'm going to be reading in the coming months. The first is Lilith by Nikki Marmory. This is a myth retelling described as being in the tradition of Madeline Miller and Claire North, and it is a retelling of the story of Lilith, who in Hebrew mythology was the first wife of Adam before Eve. This book is being published in October. However, the NetGalley date is actually the end of August, so even though the book's not coming out until the fall, I will have to read it before the end of August. So I will be reading and reviewing that very soon on this channel. The next arc I have on NetGalley is Last Night at the Hollywood Canteen by Sarah James. This is a historical murder mystery set in 1940s Hollywood that deals with the mysterious death of a much reviled film critic. So thank you to the publisher for approving me for this arc. This book is scheduled to be published in November. Expected publication November 7th. So this fall I will be reading that one. And finally, I have an arc for The Curse of Penrith Hall by Jess Armstrong. So excited to read this one too. This book won the Minotaur Books and Mystery Writers of America First Crime Novel Competition, which is a competition I have talked about entering, and I'm really excited to support this debut author. This is a gothic historical fiction mystery. It should really deliver those like gothic vibes. It takes place after the Great War, where an American heiress comes to the Cornish countryside. She goes to live with her once dearest friend and her friend's husband, but Ruby, our heroine, finds Penrith Hall very upsetting, and then her friend's husband meets a gruesome end. Thank you so much to all of the publishers for giving me the opportunity to read these arcs. I am very excited for all 3 books, and you will see reviews for them on my channel before the year is out. So everyone, that is it for my 2023 mid-year reading challenge check-in and my reading plans for the rest of the year. Let me know, how are you doing on your reading goals so far this year? I would love to hear from you in the comments section. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are in the description if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.